All right, hello. This little rant is going to be about Amazon's horrible customer support. This is actually going to be a redo video from the one I just posted because I want to talk a little slower, get a little bit more detail out, and also there was a little bit of smoke in the way because, my cigarette was kind of in the way. I don't want to offend anybody. Doesn't look good for the video. So here we go. It's been about maybe a month now. I went on Amazon looking for a bed frame for the wife's and my queen size bed. Now, the frame that it sits on currently right now is 36 years old. We've had it since we've been married. So, with today, there's all kinds of new type of bed frames out there. I wanted one with a headboard and footboard, stuff of that nature. So my daughter bought one about 4 months ago. She paid $100 for it. I put it together. It took about an hour. It's actually pretty decent, not perfect, but it was decent. The quality of it was good. It only took about an hour to put together. So I went on and I found me one on Amazon like she did. Mine is basically the same thing, just a different seller, slightly different design. And it comes with a headboard and footboard. The headboard is not as big as hers, and hers didn't come with a footboard. So about a week after I get it, I decided to put it together. I didn't put it together when I first bought it. Why? Because, I work and I had other things scheduled to do. So when the time came, I said, all right, it's time for me to put this thing together. So now this box is probably about 5 feet long by about a good 2.5 feet wide. Very heavy, probably weighs 50, 60, 70 pounds. When it came to me, the box was pretty daggone beat up. It was practically open in some spots. So I open it up and I carefully take out each piece out of the box and I set it up in my room. That way there, when I look at the instructions, I can go from point A to point B to point C and continue on down the line until it's done. So while I'm putting this thing together, I notice a few defects. And the first one was on the headboard. The headboard legs, it only requires 3 bolts. That's all it requires, and a couple of washers. Now the holes are pretty big in diameter, considering the washers, so the holes are probably about a ½ inch wide. Well, they had 5 holes on there. It's not that 5 is not a big deal. It didn't affect anything. The only thing it does, it just makes, the legs, that part of the legs, it being wood, it being cheap wood too, a little bit not as strong as it should be. Kind of weakens it a little bit. So I get that part put together. Now I'm working on the footboard. So the footboard, same thing. You got 2 legs that attach to the back of the footboard. And I believe there's only 2 holes for each, and it was fine. And at the bottom of that, you got these black, it's kind of a weird shape. They're actually headboard feet, I think you would call it. You had a little hole on the top. Well, actually, it was a pretty big hole. Now, the bolt that goes through it is probably about 2.5 inches long. It has a big washer. And then it sits into a little insert inside the bottom of the leg, for the footboard. And that's probably about maybe an 1/8 inch wide, whatever size it is to, for the hole. And next to it, there's another hole. Now, what you put in there, you're supposed to put a little wood dowel. You come with 2, 1 for each leg. Now, the dowels are only about a 1/4 inch long and by about a 32nd or 2 32nds wide. That's it. The holes that they drilled for this thing is 3/4 of an inch wide. Right then and there, I stopped assembling it. I couldn't go any further because that hole is probably 99% bigger than what it's supposed to be. So I go to box this thing back up. I said, this thing is getting returned. It says, I'm getting a refund for this. Now, it took me an hour to rebox this whole bed set. I put everything in. I put everything back. I put each item that I took out of its plastic packaging back in, taped it up, placed it all neatly inside the original box. That way there, when I put the box together, I taped it all up. It was nice and sturdy. It was 100% better than what it was when I got it. So I go to Amazon. I file a return claim, and it came back saying that, okay, ship it back to the, this may not be 100% accurate. You know, once the seller receives it, you know, you get a refund. I'm saying to myself, well, who's paying for the shipping return? I said, I'm not paying for it. So I call Amazon, explained to Amazon what was going on. I told them everything about the defects and my decision to return it. I said, but I'm not paying return shipping. I said, this thing only costs $100, okay? I said, it's gonna cost me at least $100 or more to ship it. Why? I'm only a consumer, okay? Companies that sell furniture, computers, or any other type of commodity, you know, they have large shipping discounts from all the major carriers because they're gonna ship in bulk. What they pay to ship is going to cost a fraction of what it's going to cost for me to ship an item of the same size, or, you know, however it may be. And the guy at Amazon told me, no, he says you don't have to pay for the return shipping. The item's damaged. That's up to the seller to send you a shipping label. I said, well, he's also going to have to set up a time to come pick the item up. He says, I get 2 days off a week, back to back. He's going to have to schedule somebody to pick it up on one of those 2 days. No problem. So they reach out to the seller. The seller gets back to me within about 24 hours or so. Asked me to send him some pictures and stuff. So I gave him an explanation, just like I'm doing here on the camera, of what was wrong with it. And I provided him the pictures. He thanked me for it, and he said, I'll come up with a game plan. I said, the only game plan that I'm going to accept going forward is I'm returning it. I want a refund back. I said, the quality of your product is pretty horrendous. I mean, just in the very beginning, I run into 2 large defects. One of them was workable, the other one wasn't, and I'm not even 3/4 of the way done putting it together. Who knows what I was going to run into after that? So I call back Amazon. After I didn't hear back from them, like maybe another 2 days after that, Amazon told me that, well, no, excuse me, let's backtrack a little bit. Before the shipper even got a hold of me, Amazon told me, if you do not hear from the seller, call us back. We'll start what they call an A to Z claim. I said, all right. So I did hear back. But then when I replied to him, I didn't hear anything further. Waited about another 2 days. So I called back Amazon, and Amazon said, no, you're not paying for return shipping on a defective item. So I don't remember what happens after that, but then I get a link from Amazon, and it's supposed to be for a shipping label. I said, oh, cool. I said, I got my return shipping label. So I click on a link, I pull it up. No, it's a shipping label, and all right. It's basically the size of like a big envelope. I got to fill out all my information, and it says on the bottom, you know, pretty much said, hey, you're paying for return shipping. Call Amazon back again. I told them, I said, look, you already told me this is going on the 3rd time, and I'm talking to you, I'm telling you, I'm not paying return shipping, and I told them why. And they assured me again, no, you do not have to pay for return shipping. I said, then why did I get this label that I got to print up, fill out, but yet I got to supply the postage? So they went ahead and they filed what they call an A to Z claim. Basically what that is, after they review it, they'll credit my my Amazon account back with the money that it cost me for this thing. It was like $113.64. And then with that item, I can do what I want. Keep it, throw it away, whatever. I told the guy, I said, I'll put it to you this way. The quality of this thing is horrendous. I said, the only place thing is going, it's going on my tree belt. I don't even want it in my house. I said, I'd rather ship it back. But if we're going this route, I said, I'm just going to get rid of it. So then, today, I hear from the seller. He's asking me, he told me that he's going to provide a full refund. He said, if you could, he said, just go to your Amazon account cancel the A to Z claim. He said, I look forward to hearing from you. I didn't respond to him because at the time I'm at work. So I get home from work, going through my emails, and I get this thing from Amazon saying that your A to Z claim was canceled. I'm like, what? So I call up Amazon again. I said, who canceled my A to Z claim? He said, the seller did. I said, the seller? He said, how is the seller able to call you up and cancel my claim? He said, well, because they're going to give you a refund. I said, the refund isn't the problem. I said, the problem is I'm telling you, and I've already been told 3 previous times by, your comrades over there, your co-workers, that I do not have to pay for return shipping on a damaged item. That is the seller's responsibility. So I said to him, okay, so here's what you can do now. I said, now you can contact the seller again, and you can tell him flat out, you can pay for the return shipping label so we can ship this thing back. I said, I'll take it anywhere. I said, as a matter of fact, I said, your Amazon warehouse is not far from where I live. It's about a 20-minute drive. I said, I can bring it over there and drop it off. The guy didn't say anything. Okay? So you can tell him, pay for the return shipping like you're supposed to, because the item was defective. I said, I'll take a legal action. I'll take him to small claims court. Is it worth it? To me, it is. Is it going to cost me time and money? Sure, it's going to cost me time and money. But it's also going to cost him a lot more, too. And the way I look at it is, hey, I don't care. It's the principle of it. If you, the consumer, has a defective item, you should not be reliable for any return shipping costs whatsoever. That should be solely on the person that sold it to you. Now, if you damaged it and you're going to try to warranty it out, okay, that's on you. But if you as a consumer get an item and it's clearly damaged, you should not be held responsible for the return shipping. Because like I said, all companies who ship an awful lot of packages and items day in and day out, year after year, they get large discounts from big carriers. I've heard this before. I've been in the trucking industry for 18 years. They get a large discount for shipping the quantity of stuff that they do. Period. So now I look forward to see what's going to go on with this. I'll keep you updated if it's something good. My rant's over.